Hello, my friends. It's me, Bible Class Betty, here with another exciting adventure from the Bible. Well, in this lesson, before the battles, before the jawbone, before the fall, there was a promise. A woman with no children, visited by an angel. Her son would be unlike any other. Why, he'd be set apart from birth and chosen by God and filled with unstoppable strength. Today we meet Samson, strong, bold, and impulsive. Now remember, before we dive in to today's lesson, we need to take a moment to look at our vocabulary. You see, the Bible uses words we might not hear very much anymore. Or sometimes, well, those words might mean something quite different than how they're used today. So let's make sure we understand them first. That way the message will be even clearer. All right, let's get started. Altar, altar. Why, an altar is a special place of sacrifice or worship. In Bible times, it could be as simple as a bronze table, but its purpose was always sacred. Burnt offerings were made on the altar to God to seek forgiveness or to give thanks. Altar. How about the word barren? Barren. Why, this word is used when something can't grow life. If land is barren, it means no plants or crops can grow there. If a woman is barren, it means she can't have a baby. Barren. Carcass. Carcass. Why, when an animal dies, the body that's left is called the carcass. Detain. Detain. Why, to detain is if it means they're being held back or kept from leaving. Detain. Entice. Entice. Why, that would be to try to get someone to do something by making it sound fun or exciting, even if it's not a good idea. Entice, like tempt. Heifer. Heifer. Why, a heifer is a young cow. And a heifer, why, it's always female. Heifer. Impoverish. Impoverish. Why, that's to make someone very poor or to take away what they need to live. Impoverish. Next is Nazarite. Nazarite. Why, it's usually used as a Nazarite vow, and it's a special promise someone makes to God to live in a holy and set apart way for a time, or sometimes even for an entire lifetime. It's found first in Numbers chapter 6, verses 1 through 21, and it's open to anyone, a male or a female, who wants to dedicate themselves to God. Why, if you take the Nazarite vow, you can't drink wine, you can't cut your hair, and you can't go near a dead body. Nazarite. Oh, plow. Plow would be to use a device to cut and lift and turn over the soil, like to plow the land and plant some seeds, like a farmer does. Plow. Oh, how about the word uncircumcised? Why, that means you're not circumcised. Pagan or wicked people were considered uncircumcised. It just meant they weren't part of God's people. Unclean. Well, unclean is like unholy, impure, the opposite of clean. Leviticus chapter 11 refers to certain animals, why, birds and fish, that the Israelites were not allowed to eat. Those were considered unclean. Well, let's get started with Samson, a hero with God's strength. Well, in Judges 13 and 14, we dive into the origin story of Israel's wildest warrior. From a miraculous birth, why, to riddles and revenge, Samson's journey begins with fire and honey and a whole lot of Philistine drama. But before we get started, I think we should review some of those chapter rhymes from the last few weeks. Chapter 7, Gideon and just 300 strong men took over Midian in Judges 7. Zebah and Zalmunna suffer the same fate. Gideon kills both of them in Judges 8. A millstone to the head. Abimelech is not fine. He's struck by a woman in Judges 9. Israel did evil, so they are in slavery again. They cry out to the Lord in Judges 10. Jephthah vowed to make a sacrifice to heaven. It turns out it's his daughter in Judges 11. Say Shibboleth. The Israelites yell. 42,000 Ephraimites die in Judges 12. Oh, well, let's get a little bit of information about chapters 13 and 14. Again, most scholars place the period of Judges between 1450 and 1000 BC. Again, the precise dates are still debated. Israel at this time was under Philistine oppression, especially in the western and the southern regions. Why, the Philistines were a powerful sea people with the advanced weaponry and organized city-states like Gaza and Ashkelon and Ekron. Well, Manoah and his wife, those are going to be the parents of Samson, lived in Zorah, a city in the territory of Dan. Samson's family was from the tribe of Dan, which had settled near the Philistine border. This geographical tension adds depth to Samson's confrontation in chapter 14. Oh, I can't wait to get started. In Judges chapter 13, we're going to meet Manoah and his wife. They're a married couple, remember, from the tribe of Dan. We're also going to see an angel of the Lord. This angel or messenger was sent by God himself. He appeared to Manoah and his wife and promised that they would have a son. And then we'll meet Samson in chapter 13. He's a baby boy born to Manoah and his wife. So open your Bibles to chapter 13. Why, the Philistine people were war-loving, powerful, and skilled at the art of making iron weaponry. Why, these weapons gave them a huge advantage over the Israelites, who felt overwhelmed to fight against these armed chariots. Each of the Philistines' 5 coastal cities were ruled by a lord who handled the more minor decisions. The larger ones were voted on by the Philistine people. The central government gave them an organized advantage over those Israelite tribes who were constantly bickering with each other. Oh, well, do you see there's some different colors on my Bible, friends? Take a closer look. They'll help you understand what you're reading. Why, if you see words in blue, that's a person. And the words in green point us to places or cities. If you see words highlighted in yellow, those are quotes. Those are people speaking. And if you see those words in red, that means God is speaking. Now let's learn together as we start with verse 1. Our chapter heading is The Birth of Samson. I think we know what's going to happen in this one. And the people of God again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord gave them over to the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. Oh, well, it looks like before we learn about Samson's birth, we're told about the 40 years of oppression the Philistines have inflicted on the Israelites. Verse 2. Oh, I see some words in red too. So that's going to be a message from God. Pay close attention. There was a certain man of Zorah. It's in green, so that has to be the name of his city. Of the tribe of the Danites, whose name was Manoah. And his wife was barren and had no children. And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, Behold, you are barren, and have not borne children, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Just as he had appeared to Joshua in chapter 5 and to Gideon in Judges chapter 6, the angel of the Lord visits Manoah's wife with an announcement that she will have a child. Verse 4, the angel of the Lord is still speaking. Therefore, be careful and drink no wine or strong drink. Eat nothing unclean, for behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. No razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to save Israel from the hand of the Philistines. Oh, and the woman, she came and told her husband, oh, see, it's in yellow. She's talking to him. A man of God came to me, and his appearance was like the appearance of the angel of God. Oh, very awesome. I did not ask him where he was from, and he did not tell me his name. But he said to me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and then drink no wine or strong drink, eat nothing unclean, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. Oh, how wonderful. Well, we start with this angel continuing to speak to Manoah's wife. There's things she can't do. Drink no wine, eat anything unclean. Oh, and no razor will ever come to the child's head after he's born. And the promise from God is that this child, her son, will deliver Israel from the Philistines. The woman runs to tell her husband about this visitor. She didn't know his name or where he came from, but she repeated the conversation to her husband. Now, a Nazarite vow Why, that could be taken for as little as 30 days to an entire lifetime. And parents could take the vow for their children before they were even born, and the children were bound by it. Samson was a lifelong Nazarite because his mother and father had made this promise to God. Then Manoah prayed to the Lord and said, "O Lord, please let the man of God whom you sent come again and teach us what we are to do with the child who will be born." And God listened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. So the woman ran quickly and told her husband, "Behold, the man who came to me the other day has appeared to me." Oh, sweet Manoah, he desired more instructions and guidance. He prays, "Oh Lord, please teach us what we should do for this child who's coming." And that angel of God, why, he makes a second appearance in response to Manoah's pleas. And once again, the angel appears to Manoah's wife. But Manoah, he's nowhere around. She quickly runs to get her husband, wanting him to hear the Lord's instructions firsthand. And Manoah arose and went after his wife, and they came to the man and said to him, "Are you the man who spoke to this woman?" And the angel said, "I am." And Manoah said, "Now, when your words come true, what is the child's manner of life, and what is his mission?" And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, "Of all that I have said to this woman, let her be careful she may not eat of anything that comes from the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, or eat any unclean thing. All that I commanded her, let her observe." Oh, I love this. When Manoah's wife tells Manoah that the angel's back, he follows her quickly to go see the angel. And upon receiving confirmation that he is the same visitor who delivered the first message, Manoah asks for guidance in raising the child. The angel confirms the exact instructions he had given the woman. Well, Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, "Please let us detain, stop, keep you, and prepare a young goat for you." And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, "If you detain me, I will not eat your food. But if you prepare a burnt offering, then I will offer it to the Lord." For Manoah did not know that he was the angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, "What is your name, that when your words come true, we may honor you?" And the angel of the Lord said to him, "Why do you ask my name, seeing it is wonderful?" Why, Manoah here offers to prepare a meal for their guest. However, a burnt offering is one more appropriate for this heavenly visitor than a meal. When Manoah asked the angel his name, why, the answer is, "My name is so wonderful, your language has no words for it." This name kind of makes it clear that that guest was God. Well, so Manoah took the young goat along with a grain offering, and he offered it on a rock to the Lord, to the one who works wonders. And Manoah and his wife were watching, and when the flame went up towards heaven from the altar, the angel of the Lord went up in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife were watching, and they fell on their face on the ground. The angel of the Lord appeared no more to Manoah and to his wife. Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord, and Manoah said to his wife, "Why, we shall surely die, for we have seen God." But his wife said to him, "If the Lord had meant to kill us, he would not have accepted our burnt offering and grain offering at our hands, or shown us all these things, or now announced to us such things as these." Oh, well, Manoah had taken that goat and sacrificed it with his grain offering on the rock. And when the flames went up from the altar, why, Manoah and his wife saw something amazing. The angel ascended toward heaven in the flame and disappeared. Finally, Manoah realized who appeared to them, and then falls on his face to the ground, crying, "We shall surely die, for we have seen God." But his wife reasons that God would not have accepted their offerings, or shown them these signs, or given them this message, if he simply intended to kill them in the end. Oh, good for her. Well, verse 24, and the woman bore a son and called his name Samson. And the young man grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him at Mahaneh Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. Why, the Lord blessed Samson, and the Spirit of the Lord began to stir within him. Oh, I hope we have a rhyme to remember all the wonderful things in this chapter. No wine, dead bodies, or haircuts is the Nazarite routine. Samson is born in Judges 13. Well, let's continue reading in chapter 14. Now remember, Samson's parents lived in Zorah, a city in Dan's territory. Oh dear, this one has a little bit of conflict going on. Let's see what happens. We're going to learn about Manoah and his wife. Why, remember, those were Samson's parents? And of course, we're going to read about Samson. He's going to be the 13th judge of Israel, the one that the angel of the Lord announced his birth. And remember, has taken the Nazarite vow. We're also going to read about Samson's wife. He's going to marry a Philistine woman from the town of Timnah. I thought Israel had been told not to intermarry with those people from the other countries because they were idol worshippers. That can't be good. And then there's a little story in chapter 14 about 30 Philistine men. Why, these were guests at Samson's wedding, and they challenge him. Oh, let's get started. Samson's marriage, verse 1. Samson went down to Timnah, and at Timnah he saw one of the daughters of the Philistines. So a young lady that's a Philistine woman. And he came up and told his father, "I saw one of the daughters of the Philistines in Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife." But his father said to him, Is there not a woman among the daughters of your relatives or among all our people that you have to take a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines? But Samson said to his father, Get her for me, for she is right in my eyes. Oh, Samson, his father and mother did not know that this was from the Lord. For he, God, was seeking an opportunity against the Philistines, because at that time the Philistines ruled over Israel. So Samson sees a wife he wants, and he tells his parents, Go get her, get the ball rolling. Why, in those days, parents were responsible for making marriage arrangements. And Samson was willing to let his parents do it as long as they picked the bride he wanted. God warned the Israelites about entering marriages with pagan people around them because he knew it would be their downfall. But Samson says, Ooh, she's right in my eyes, and follows his desires instead of the will of God. Verse 5. Then Samson went down with his father and his mother to Timnah. And they came to the vineyards of Timnah. And behold, there was a young lion who came towards him roaring. And the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon Samson. And although he had nothing in his hands, he tore the lion to pieces as one tears a young goat. But he did not tell his father or his mother what he had done. And when he went down and talked to the woman, she was right in Samson's eyes. So on the road to Timnah to make those marriage arrangements, a young lion roars and aggressively approaches Samson. Samson, in his strength, may naturally have been stronger than other men, but the power described in this passage flowed from the Spirit of the Lord, which came upon him in great force. Samson didn't tell anybody about this event. I think it's funny that they say as one tears a young goat. I've never torn a young goat, and I don't think that would be easy, much less tearing a lion. Oh dear, that was definitely God. Verse 8. And some days he returned to take her, the new wife, and he returned aside to see the carcass of the lion. Hold up. That dead body thing that the Nazarites take, that included animal carcasses too? And behold, there was a swarm of bees in the body of the lion, and honey. And he scraped it out with his hand. He touched it now and went on, eating as he went. And he came to his father and his mother, and he gave some of it, the honey, to them, and they ate. But he did not tell them that he had scraped the honey from the carcass of a lion. Oh, traditionally, there was about a 10 to 12-month period between when a couple became betrothed and the wedding. During this time, the bride would prepare herself for the marriage. But by the time Samson returns to the road where he had first met the lion, why, the carcass is a naked skeleton and bees have made their home. Why, he scraped out some of the honey and shared it with his parents. But he didn't tell them where that had come from, because remember, as a Nazarite, he was forbidden to touch a dead body. Well, verse 10, his father went down to the woman And Samson prepared a feast there. For so the young men used to do. This was their habit. As soon as the people saw him, they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said to them, "Let me now put a riddle to you. If you can tell me what it is within 7 days of the feast and find it out, then I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes. But if you cannot tell me what it is, then you shall give me 30 linens and 30 garments, changes of clothes." And they said, "Put your riddle that we may hear it." So Samson says to them, "Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet." And in 3 days, they could not solve this riddle. Well, Samson and his family are minding their own business, following the customary procedures for a wedding. Why, Samson's hosting the feast for the 30 companions that he's been given. Oh, then he has to go and make this wager of their ability to solve his riddle. 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes are on the line. Well, they agree to the riddle. Now let's see if they can solve it. Verse 15. On the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife, "Entice your husband to tell us what the riddle is, lest we burn your father's house down with fire." Have you invited us here to impoverish us, make us poor? And Samson's wife wept over him and said, "Oh, Samson, you only hate me. You don't love me. You have put a riddle to my people, and you have not told me what it is." And behold, he said to her, "I have not told my father or mother. Why should I tell you?" And she cried before him the 7 days that their feast lasted. And on the 7th day he told her, because she pressed him hard. Then she told the riddle to her people. Oh, recognizing the trouble of this riddle caused the bride to spend the entire 7 days of their wedding celebration in tears. Her people threatened her life. Why, she uses every amount of persuasion she can to get the solution, or else they're going to burn her family and their house. Oh my! And finally, when she gets that answer from Samson, she immediately goes and tells those 30 men. Oh, well, verse 18. And then the men of the city said to him on the 7th day before the sunset went down, the exact same thing that the wife had told them. "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" And he, Samson, said to them, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have found out my riddle." Suddenly, on the 7th day, Samson's companions suddenly pop up with the solution to his riddle. Samson's mad. He knows they got the answer from his soon-to-be wife. Oh, he's angry. Verse 19. And the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon Samson, and he went down to Ashkelon. And he struck down 30 men of that town, and took their spoils, and gave the garments of those who had told the riddle. and in hot anger he went back to his father's house. And Samson's wife was given to his companion who had been his best man. Oh, Ashkelon would have been about 23 miles away. Samson's got a problem. Remember, he's got to go pay those Philistines for solving his riddle. So, Samson's anger must have been pretty intense if he was willing to go 23 miles away. Why, and after marching in rage the whole way there, he kills 30 men to obtain their splendid and costly clothing to pay off that riddle. He pays off his obligation and then returns to his hometown. Well, the bride was left in disgrace because the marriage did not take place. So the parents offered her in marriage to the best man. Oh, well, I hate that we stopped there, but let's run a conclusion on this. What a beginning to Samson's story! From an angelic announcement to such unexpected choices. Judges 13 and 14 remind us that God can use even imperfect people to carry out his plan. Samson's birth was a miracle, and his calling was clear. But as we saw in chapter 14, following God isn't always easy. And sometimes we let our own desires get in the way. Still, God's purpose moves us forward. So as we close today, let's remember God sees us before we're even born. Why, he calls us to live set apart. And he works through us even when we stumble. Let's see if there's a rhyme to remember chapter 14. A lion's carcass is definitely unclean. Samson uses it for a riddle in Judges 14. Well, I think I might have a few cartoons because that is kind of a funny story. Let's see what we've got for cartoons that other people have found so funny. Allergy season at Samson's house. Oh, why, that dog has no fur on him. That's a powerful sneeze. A young Samson plays with the jawbone of a squirrel. Do you think he's going to hurt anybody with that? Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Meow. Oh, I hope that's not what he did to that lion, but it is kind of funny. Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet. Samson shares a smack roll with his new friend. Do you see? His new friend is Winnie the Pooh, who loves honey. Oh, Samson visits the gym on a good hair day. Remember, he took the Nazarite vow. Part of the secret behind that strength was no haircut. The other dudes never wore their muscle robes when they knew Samson would be around. Ooh, because he's got, those big muscles. I'm looking forward to an excellent workout today. I've got some new shampoo and conditioner. Oh, isn't that silly? Samson drops by the Philistine carnival. Why, look, with his hammer, he hit that mallet so hard that he won the biggest prize possible. Let's get ready to rumble. Judges. Then enters Samson. Why, those are some big muscles. Well, our homework this week is going to be, I'd like each of you to read Judges chapter, or answer the study questions for Judges chapter 5 through 6 in our study guide, and then review chapter heading cards for all of Joshua and for Judges chapters 1 through 14. Well, thank you for joining me, Bible Class Betty, my friends. Keep reading and keep asking questions and keep trusting that God's story is still unfolding in your life. I'll see you next time for more action and more lessons and more faith building fun. Bye bye.